Hello and welcome to this session where we will continue our discussion on eco-criticism. Here we will talk about the nature-culture debate. When we examine the debates concerning the relationship between culture and nature in eco-criticism, you will find that eco-critics reject the notion of everything that is linguistically or socially constructed. We have taken a look at this point in the previous class itself, where we said that eco-critics are distrustful of theory. Alright, both eco-critics as well as green studies practitioners are distrustful of theory, and eco-critics are distrustful of linguistically constructed reality. A world that exists only through language, or a world that is created through social construction. So this constructedness of the world, the constructedness of nature is something that is critiqued by eco-critics. So what is their main point? They would argue that nature really exists. You cannot simply say that nature does not exist. It really exists. It is not a mere linguistically constructed concept. We will be taking a look at how how eco-critics have developed this idea. Alright, they say that nature really exists. This is one important point. The second thing is that nature affects us. Alright, it affects us because it really exists. You can't simply say that it is something that is created in language and nature is only something that is created in language. No, it affects us. And the third important thing is that it cannot be reduced to a concept. In the initial phases, many eco-critics were critical of the fact that in literature, nature has been reduced to an idea. Nature has been reduced to a concept. And the eco-critics argue that it cannot be reduced to a concept. We will examine a few theorists who have dealt with this. Alright, one is that of Alan Lew, who has, like Bate, done a lot of work on Wordsworth. Though his book Wordsworth, The Sense of History, is a very important work in this regard. Now, when we look at Lew, some of them have actually misunderstood what Lew has attempted to say. All right, and in fact, especially Bate is someone who has misquoted him by saying that okay, there is no nature. Lew is supposed to have said that there is no nature, but it is in a particular context that he has said. He has, according to Lew, nature is only a mediation. Alright, so when you talk about nature, it is only a kind of a mediated reality which has been, and this idea of reality has been created by writers. Okay, created by writers, especially people who lived in the era of the British Romanticism. So according to him, calling something as nature or natural and viewing it as simply given or God-given is a denial of the power structure in politics. Don't we all say that something is natural? Alright. So you try to what? You try to naturalize certain things. For instance, naturally, a girl naturally is good at being or playing the mother, the role of a mother. Okay, so you're calling it as naturally, simply given or God given. A girl is naturally good at cooking. A boy is naturally brave. Okay, a boy is naturally good at doing mechanical things. All right. So if you say that according to you, if you call that is what he calls as nature. All right. He is does not refer to the physical presence here. In fact, that is one disadvantage of view. He talks about what can be considered as natural. Alright, we often make use of this natural when it comes to human beings, when it comes to a lot of things. So if you consider something as natural, something as simply given, alright, so or it might be God given, then you must realize that it is a denial of the power structure. There is a lot of politics when you say that a woman is naturally good at cooking or naturally being a mother, or that a boy is naturally good at driving, or he is naturally good at mechanics, or there are lots of things that you say. There is a power structure. In fact, you might find the other way around too. There are a number of men who are very caring, or a number of girls who are good, at driving, or in mechanics. So the power structure that works there, why who benefits from this kind of naturalizing things? Okay, naturalizing within quotes. There are lots of ideologies that benefit from this kind of a power structure. So when you say that something is natural or simply given, then it is actually a denial of the power structure that you are playing there. So this is Liu's point of view. The second, so it is in this context that he said that there is no nature. All right, so and this is the word, this is the sentence that has often been misunderstood, misquoted by a lot of people, most notably Jonathan Bate. And he said that nature is an anthropomorphic construct shaped by Wordsworth. All right, so you have uh, uh, changed a human centered concept, and then you actually changed it to suit your needs, and you have made it an anthropomorphic construct. All right, so it is in that. So this today, whatever idea of nature that we have is an idea that has been given by writers like that of Wordsworth. This is the idea that he had said. All right, he says that it is because he was talking about the natural, and I told you this is what is being critiqued by others like Jonathan Bate, and they find fault with his ignoring of the physical presence of nature. So he says that, okay, yes, as a concept, all right, I told you, as a concept, it is fine. You're talking about something as a constructed thing. You're talking about, you're critiquing something as natural, and you are trying to identify that this is linguistically constructed, or this is socially constructed, like the ideas of motherhood, or those kinds of ideas that are there. In fact, you find a lot of things working in ideologies when you talk of his idea of, he examines children's rhymes, and he says that see, you are naturalizing rich people, you're naturalizing the idea that rich people can behave in this way and the poor people would behave in this kind of a fashion. All right, so that's all fine. So his critics says that's all fine. The kind of a ignorance or critiquing of the socially constructed or linguistically constructed concept of nature. But why have you not taken into account the physical presence of nature? There is also something that is really present. Why haven't you taken a look at that? So this is one critique of Alan Liu. We have seen in the previous class as to how the word eco-criticism was first used by William Ruckert, okay, and that the word ecological was first used by Karl Kroeber, okay. Now, even before that, that was in 1974. Now, even before that, you had an essay which talked about the ecological crisis. All right, now you see, you might wonder why is it that ecological crisis? Now, eco-criticism comes in 74, but even before that, you have words like ecological. I told you that it is Kroeber who had made use of this. Now, the essay was titled as The Historical Roots of Our Ecological Crisis by Lynn White. In this essay, he talks of again, the debate that is there between nature and culture can actually be seen here, where he is critical of religion. Now, you see, a religion can be treated as a part of culture. He says that the reason for our ecological crisis. Now, this was the time of the publication of Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, and there was a furor in the USA. So, Lynn White tells that why is it that we have this kind of an attitude towards nature? And he says that this is because of religion. And he says that religion has mentioned, he talks of the Judeo-Christian religion or the concepts that are found there. So he says that you find that there is the idea of speciesism. Of course, he doesn't make use of speciesism, the word per se there. He says that religion has taught us that all the elements of nature are supposed to help you, okay, are supposed to serve you. And that is actually responsible for human beings' present attitude towards nature, or you can say the irreverence towards nature. So he censures the anthropocentric arrogance and the dominating attitude towards nature. Now, mind you, even before you have Gladfelty or the others, I told you the eco-criticism as a global movement gains its importance only in the 90s. Though, of course, in the 60s itself, when Carson published her Silent Spring and with her activism, this was a very important concern that is there. But then it gains its importance only a little later when a lot of damage has already been done. But during this time itself, you find that people like Lynn White had discussed the historical roots of ecological crisis, and he places the fault with religion. According to him, I would say conventional religion. Okay, conventional, because he finds when you read that essay, you will find that he ends the essay by talking about an alternative attitude towards religion. And he says that for me, the patron saint of ecology, or the patron saint of someone who would care for nature, would be that of Saint Francis of Assisi. And he says that because I find that he has offered an alternative view, the way in which you can actually look at nature. So he says that there are lots of concepts which might be found in religion, which has contributed to the anthropocentric arrogance of man. At the same time, you can also find that there are other saints who have advocated a different attitude towards nature, and that is what we have to follow. All right. So this is an idea which was given by Lynn White. Now you will find that I am just picking ideas from here and there because I want to share with you all the ideas, all the important ideas regarding nature and culture that has emerged in eco-criticism. So I will continue with this in the next video.